Breaking news! Something happened in the Broncos preseason opener against the San Francisco 49ers that could change how we view this team heading into 2025. I'm not just talking about the final score, it was about unexpected heroes, jaw-dropping plays, and a defensive performance that could serve as a warning to the rest of the AFC. And yet, there's also a big issue Sean Payton needs to address before week 1, or all this promise could go down the drain. You'll want to hear all the details. But before we break it down, like this if you've been wearing the orange and blue for decades, and if you're one of the true diehards, comment right now. Go, Broncos! My heart bleeds orange and blue. Now, let's get right into it. The big, unfortunate headline from the night came even before we could celebrate too much. Matt Henningsen is out for the entire 2025 season with a torn Achilles. Surgery is already in the works, and it's a tough blow considering he's been a valuable rotational piece on the defensive line. While the loss stings, the depth on this Broncos roster might just be the silver lining that keeps the defense strong throughout the year. Offensively, the first-team unit had a rocky night. Bo Nix, making one of his first live preseason appearances, didn't look as comfortable as fans have come to expect. Under heavy blitz pressure, he struggled to find rhythm, completing just 6 of 11 passes for 31 yards. One costly mistake was an intentional grounding in the end zone that gave the 49ers a safety. There were also a couple of underthrown passes, one to Troy Franklin and another to Courtland Sutton, that stalled what could have been scoring opportunities. The offensive line didn't help much either, getting shut down early and often. R.J. Harvey's debut, however, was a small bright spot. While not explosive, he showed flashes of the outside run threat the Broncos have been missing, especially on a 13-yard cutback run. Troy Franklin, arguably the best performer in training camp so far, also made his presence felt with 3 receptions for 18 yards. It's clear Bo Nix is looking for him early and often, and this connection could blossom as the season unfolds. The real offensive fireworks came from the second team. Jarrett Stidham stepped in and absolutely lit it up, going 14 of 15 for 136 yards and 2 touchdowns with no interceptions. His connection with Trent Sherfield was the highlight, most notably a go route where Sherfield made an incredible bobbling catch, pinning the ball to his helmet and keeping both feet in bounds. Lucas Krull also got in on the scoring action, finding himself wide open in the end zone for an easy 6. Tyler Batty was another standout, averaging over 6 yards per carry and making a strong case for the RB3 spot over Jaleel McLaughlin, thanks to his vision, cutability, and even some solid pass blocking. But while the offense showed sparks, it was the defense that truly dominated. After giving up 9 quick points in the first quarter, the Broncos completely shut down the 49ers for the rest of the game. 3 interceptions by Jaquan McMillian, undrafted rookie Karen Reed, and UDFA Joshua Pickett highlighted a ball-hawking secondary. J.L. Skinner delivered one of the hardest hits of the night, forcing a fumble that rookie Seven Jones recovered. Pass rushers like Nick Benito and Jonah Ellis were relentless, with Benito constantly pressuring the quarterback and Ellis sniffing out screen plays. Perhaps the biggest takeaway from this game was the depth of the defense. From Chris Abrams-Draine making key stops to Jayden Barrow showcasing physicality, this unit looks stacked beyond just the starting lineup. If this depth can translate into regular season dominance, the Broncos could have one of the most well-rounded defenses in the AFC. That depth showed exactly why Sean Payton and Vance Joseph have been so adamant about building competition across the roster. When the 49ers backups came in, Denver's second and third string defenders didn't just hold their ground, they dominated. And that's the kind of culture Payton has been preaching all offseason. If you're on the field, you're expected to produce, no matter where you sit on the depth chart. Jaquan McMillian's interception was the turning point of the night for the defense. After getting beat on an early route, he came back with a perfectly timed jump on the sideline, scooping the ball just before it touched the turf. That's exactly the kind of short memory and resilience you want from a starting caliber corner. For an undrafted player like Karen Reed, his pick was a product of both awareness and positioning. Yes, it was a poor throw from the 49ers QB, but you have to be in the right spot to capitalize. And Reed was. Joshua Pickett's interception was pure instincts, reading the quarterback's eyes and jumping the route like a seasoned veteran. And then there was J.L. Skinner. For tackles, a tone-setting forced fumble, and the kind of physical presence that makes opposing receivers think twice about going over the middle. That hit on Amir Abdullah? That's the stuff that gets replayed in defensive meeting rooms all week. The recovery by Seven Jones just capped off the effort and showed how quickly this defense can swarm to the ball. In the trenches, Nick Benito continues to look like he's ready for a breakout season. His quick first step was giving the 49ers fits, and even when he didn't get the sack, he flushed the quarterback out of the pocket. Jonah Ellis, meanwhile, showed great awareness in diagnosing plays, blowing up a couple of screen passes before they even developed. That kind of discipline is what keeps a defense from giving up cheap yardage. When you combine that defensive intensity with the efficiency the second-team offense showed, you get the kind of preseason performance that actually means something. Yes, it's only preseason, but these are the moments where roster spots are earned. Trent Sherfield probably locked up his place in the receiver rotation with that helmet catch touchdown. Tyler Batty made it clear he's not going quietly in the RB3 battle. And Jarrett Stidham? If Bo Nix stumbles early in the regular season, it's going to be hard for fans to forget how sharp Stidham looked last night. Payton's biggest challenge from here will be figuring out how to keep that energy consistent. The starters need to find rhythm much faster than they did against San Francisco, because the regular season won't allow for those kinds of slow starts. The offensive line has to give Nix a cleaner pocket, and the young receivers need to keep developing chemistry with him so those underthrown balls turn into touchdowns instead of missed opportunities. Still, you can't overlook the positives. 3 interceptions, a forced fumble, and a second-team offense that looked unstoppable for stretches. If this is the kind of contribution Denver can get from its backups, the Broncos might just be one of the most complete teams in the AFC, one that can weather injuries and still compete every week. That question about a playoff push isn't just hype. It's grounded in what we saw in this preseason opener. The Broncos didn't just win. They showed us layers of depth that haven't been present in years. For so long, Denver has had talented starters but very little insurance behind them. One injury to a key player, and the whole machine would start to sputter. But against the 49ers, we saw a roster where even third-stringers came in and played like they were auditioning for primetime snaps. That's the hallmark of a team with staying power over a grueling 17-game season. Take the running back room as an example. Right now, J.K. Dobbins sits at RB1, R.J. Harvey is the likely RB2, and Jaleel McLaughlin has been penciled in as RB3. But Tyler Batty has thrown a wrench into that plan. His vision, burst, and patience behind the line of scrimmage were on full display. He wasn't just hitting open holes, he was creating yardage when there wasn't much there. That's the kind of trait that makes a coach think twice before locking in a depth chart. Batty didn't just run hard. He picked up blitzes, absorbed contact, and fell forward for extra yards. If he keeps this up, we could see him leapfrog McLaughlin or even push for more carries alongside Harvey in rotational packages. In the wide receiver room, Trent Sherfield's highlight grab was more than just a flashy play. It was a confidence statement. He fought through contact, maintained focus, and had the body control to drag his feet in bounds. That kind of veteran savvy is invaluable in a group where Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy carry most of the spotlight. Sherfield gives Nix and Stidham a dependable option who can win contested catches downfield. With Troy Franklin developing into a steady target, the Broncos may finally have a balanced receiving core that doesn't rely solely on 1 or 2 players to carry the passing attack. Speaking of quarterbacks, the contrast between Bo Nix's and Jarrett Stidham's performances can't be ignored. Nix is the future, the first-round pick expected to lead this franchise into its next era of success. But preseason or not, Stidham showed an efficiency and composure that stood out. Going 14 of 15 isn't just luck, it's understanding the offense, reading defenses, and making quick decisions. If nothing else, it should give the coaching staff comfort knowing they have a capable backup who can step in without the offense collapsing. And for Nix, it should serve as motivation to sharpen his timing and decision-making before the regular season begins. On defense, the turnovers were the headline, but the discipline was just as important. Yes, McMillian, Reed, and Pickett all came away with interceptions, but the real win was how the defense clamped down after those early 9 points. They tackled well in space, swarmed to the ball, and adjusted to what San Francisco was trying to run. That shows strong communication on the field and trust in Vance Joseph's system. When your backups are executing defensive adjustments on the fly, it means the coaching staff has successfully drilled